Hey everybody, Mntdewmania here, and welcome back to Mntdewmania's Redneck Rants. And I got kind of a touchy one today, and the only reason that it's touchy, which means I'm probably really gonna go into a super rant about it, is because it actually happened to me today. I was telling all the Bevo guys we were on Skype talking about um, Tinker's construct and stuff like that. And I said, well, I got to go record my redneck rant. And I said, I told them what it's going to be about. And I said, you guys will have to definitely watch this one because I got a good real life example. And then we started sharing stories, and so I thought I'd share it with you. And it actually, it happened early this morning. I had to go to the hospital to get blood work. No bad things. I have to get regular blood work done for the doctor, and so it was that time, and I went. Let me tell you what the rant is about today. Today's rant is the letter J, if you remember. J is for judging. Now, the dictionary said, and I wrote it down. I went to dictionary.com. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. To form a judgment or opinion of, um, decide upon critically. Now, I'm not talking about like a judge passing judgment or judging distance. I judge the distance to be 10 miles to the lighthouse. I'm talking about judging people without knowing them, not knowing anything about their backgrounds, their history, anything. You judge them purely on what you see. I mean, you don't speak to them, you don't know them personally. Um, that's the kind of judging I'm talking about. Let me get up here on my pedestal, on my pulpit, because I'm going to preach. Uh, Mother Teresa says, if you judge people, you have no time to love them. Now, that's probably true of Mother Teresa. She was a wonderful woman, very giving and loving, and probably one of the 10 most important people that will ever happen in my lifetime. Um, or your lifetime, probably. So, and I mean, that judge not, used to be judged. I mean, never judge a book by its cover. I think is always an excellent one. Um, Euripides said, "Judge a tree from its fruit, not its leaves." That's kind of a interesting one, I thought. Um, this one was kind of good, and I'm just going to wander around as I wander aimlessly around and look at all the architecture. Sorry, I'm still sick. Architecture here on Vox Populi. Um, this proverb I really liked. We'll sit here on the bench, look at the nice mountain as it rains. um, this proverb says, "Judge people from where they stand, not from where you stand." Now I like that one. Well, I mean, I kind of like it in to the point of fact that you really shouldn't judge people. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, you know, hey, what's going on, dude? I'm just looking around. I don't want to buy anything. Uh, okay, yay, nice to meet you too. So yeah, that's I think that's important to remember because people can shock you sometimes. But you pass judge. I think actually, I think we pass judgment, and we don't mean to, not in a mean way, but we do it from what we see. You see somebody in raggedy clothes walking down the street, and you think, "Oh God, they're homeless, or they're a bum, or a drunk, or whatever you call them in your part of the world." Um, and you judge solely, I mean, on what. Oh well, they probably been a drunk all their life, or he's on drugs, or she's a whore, or I mean, we do, and I think we do it not to hurt people, but just to kind of get a giggle with whoever we're with, you know. And then sometimes there's other kind of judging. All right, and it's probably, and there's another kind of proverb that goes with that. The one whose judgment counts most in your life is the one staring back at you in the mirror. That's the only person, in my opinion, that needs to pass judgment on you. If we're going to judge anybody, it needs to be ourselves. Okay? Now, with that being said, you can tell by the tone of my voice that I'm already getting pissed off. Let me tell you what happened to me today and why this is just absolutely so fitting with what with J is for Judgment. I can't believe how it just kind of, I was like, man, this was almost like planned destiny or something. We'll sit here and watch the sun come up together here on Vox. Um, like I said, I had to go to the hospital today, and I figured, and I was gonna, I got this is my payday. I get paid every 2 weeks. I'm trying not to get too personal about my business, but so I figured, well, I'm going to the hospital. I'll just pay on my hospital bill while I'm up there. I don't have to buy money orders and mail them and waste an envelope and a stamp and a money order. So I go to do that after get my blood drawn, and this is a small town, so I worked there for 15 years before I left, and I've been gone like for 8 years. I've been working at Walmart. You guys know I work at Walmart. So, but I've worked there for 15 years, so I know a lot of people. And like I said, this is a small town, so I mean, I know most everybody, or anyway. And so I'm talking to the girl, that's over in the lab, and hey, Susie, how you doing? Hadn't seen you, blah blah blah. And I said, I got to run over and pay my hospital bill. Well, hey, tell somebody I said hey, whoever it was, and okay, okay. So I trot over, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I didn't know they still worked here. And I'm kind of in a good, happy mood. The blood stick didn't hurt bad. The guy knew what he was doing, and I should be used to it. But now I get somebody done, and I go in, and I'm just la la la, and how our billing works here in this little hospital is, you get a service done, and they send you a bill for that service. And then I have so many. I'm in the hospital or the ER continuously. So, I have to pay. There's like, when I get one paid off, there's two more I'm already paying on. Okay? So, and insurance covers a lot, thank God. But, you still got to pay your part. But I'm only physically able to work like 2 or 3 days a week. Anything after that, and my body just, I usually end up either in the ER or in the hospital for 2 or 3 days. So I go in, and I'm talking to the girl, and her name, I can't remember, we'll call her Jessie. That's close enough for non-government work. And I'm asking her, well, is there any way, and what happened was, I got two of the bills, the notices, but I didn't get a third one. And I couldn't figure, because I sent them all in at the same time, I should have got them basically back close together. And she looks, and the month before I had got a late notice, and I'm like, I'm not late, I pay it as soon as it comes in, what's the deal? And she looks, and she goes, yes, somebody even made a note that you sent your payment in with a late letter, And she goes, well, we can check and see what's going on. And I said, is there any way you could combine these bills into one bill? And the lady's like, she goes, well, let me ask whoever it was. I'm assuming a supervisor or somebody that's over that part of the whole process. And this woman, she calls back, whatever her name was, and what's her name comes up, and she just kind of glances at me like, oh, and I noticed it, but I didn't notice it. So, she starts clicking away, click, 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 and, oh, I see you have, 4, accounts. And I'm like, well, I know of 3. One of them is they have like Rent-A-Docs, or the outside source for doctors, so you have to pay them separately. And I'm like, yeah. And you want to, combine them? I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, if you can do that, I mean, I know when I worked here, they did it for employees, but I don't know if you would do it like for just regular customers. Oh, well, let me look. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if it's gonna be a fucking bother, I mean, don't stress yourself about it. I mean, but what I said was trying to trying to keep my redneckness down to a dull roar. I'm like, well, that would be very nice. Thank you. Just about in that tone. Uh, and the little girl, Jessie, is kind of scooched over in her chair while the woman's leaning over her. And the look on her face says to me, I am so sorry. That's the look that she's giving me. And I'm thinking to myself, honey, don't apologize. It's not your fault she's an idiot. So she kind of whips her head around and she runs her eyes up and down me. Just, well, if you want to do that, you're going to have to increase your payment. And I'm like, lady, I work 2 days a week if I'm lucky. I can't do that. Well, you're just going to have to. I said, well, then fine, just leave them separate and I'll pay on them separately. Well, you still have to up your payment. And I'm like, are you refusing my payments? No, because I mean, they can't refuse a payment. They can't. I don't know what laws you have it, but they can't. And if they try to take you to court for non-payment, and and you can prove that they refuse your payments, the judge is going to rule in favor of you. They even if you pay $1 a month, they have to accept it. So, I mean, she is looking at me like I am just the worst white trash that has ever walked in off a street corner. And I mean, her lip is actually curling in just like contempt. And I'm thinking to myself, honey, you getting ready to get your damn feelings hurt. Don't sit there and judge me. You don't know any damn thing about me. I mean, you could read it in her face and body language. And I'm getting madder by the minute. And she goes, well, you know that we offer hardship assistance. You can apply an application if you qualify. They will help you with medical. I said, no, I didn't know that. Um, well, you said you were employed. Yes. Do you own your home? Yes. Is it mortgaged? No, I own it. The bank doesn't. I do. Oh. And she sniffs like, well, And I'm thinking, okay, I'm starting to count now. And so she goes through this other, and does your, who lives at home and all this, and I'm telling her, and well, you have to count their pay. And I'm like, well, because my daughter Fluffy is, I mean, we don't share money. I mean, she pays for all of her bills, and you know, well, I said she doesn't help me pay for my hospital bills. She's a 20-year-old kid. I said she's not my spouse or anything. Well, I said, hell no, it don't. I said she is not my spouse. She does not support the household. And she looks at this other little girl. She's like, give her the papers. And I'm thinking about, I was so furious. The woman was judging me on the fact that I worked 2 days a week and could only pay the bare minimum, on my hospital bills. At least I'm paying. And she is, if you could have seen the look on her face, she was looking at me like I am just the worst sort of trash that she has ever had to deal with. And how dare I walk into her pristine establishment and tell her that I can't pay $50, $75, $100 a month on a hospital bill. And like she was lowering herself even to put the bills together so it would be more easy for me. And the woman was like, and she just kind of, and just kind of sniffed and snorted and walked off. And, and I looked at the other girl, and she made me a receipt. I paid on all three of the accounts. And, and she goes, if you need any help, her name tag was turned backwards. And I said, what's your name? And she said, Jessie. And I said, and I know the woman only went about 2 cubicles down. Okay, they had like the petitions in between the desks. And Yeah, you know I got rude. And I said, honey, I said, I appreciate how nice you were to me. Okay, now this is the South. We call everybody honey, doll, sweetie, baby. That's just what women do. It's just a thing. It's just an ethnic thing, if you will. Okay. I said, honey, I appreciate how nice you were to me. I said, I mean, I didn't mean to cause. Yes, thank you. Text, thank you. I didn't mean to cause any problems or anything. And she goes, no, no, no. That's we're here to help. And she had this look on her face like, I'm so sorry. Please accept my apologies. You could read it in her body language. Remember we talked about reading body language, and I'm like, no, it's fine, honey. I said you were a great help. Thank you very much. I said, in fact, and I've stood up by now, and I said, in fact, your coworker could probably learn something from you, even though she's twice your age. I said, because quite frankly, she's a bitch. And I know I said it louder. I know she heard me. I know she did. And the girl, bless her heart, she just turned red as me. And I said, and you can tell her I said so. I said, you have a good day, sweetie. And I walked out. I have never been so mad. Oh my God. That was so rude. I mean, you just don't judge people like that, You don't know a person's circumstances. I mean, I have seen people that are flat ass broke and, don't have 2 cents to rub together and probably never will, and be dressed, and you would think they just walked out of a damn upscale mall and get in a car that I never could even afford to even look at, much less own, you know, and think, oh my God, I'd love to know what they do, probably a lawyer or a doctor or something, and, they're broke as a damn convict. Or there used to be this guy that I would see all the time at my husband's job. I mean, see him around in the town where my husband works, and had this old beat up pickup truck, had overalls on, looked like the worst back end redneck farmer hillbilly you ever seen in his life. And I found out he was a millionaire. And he drove like a 1970 beat up old truck, and the overhauls looked like they'd been out in a cornfield on a scarecrow for the last 20 years. And he was a millionaire. So my point is, don't snub your nose up and jump to be so judgmental when you don't even know anything about anybody. You know? Um, and look, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent there. It just, they just kind of, I hate when people do that. You don't know anything about me. Don't judge me. I didn't walk in here and look you up and down once and think to myself, well, you're just a fat little round bitch. I should have. But, I mean, you give people the benefit of the doubt. I mean, and you don't, just because something appears to be one way doesn't mean it's that way. You know? So, and let's go on to another, let me throw another couple of quotes in here before I get off on a tangent again so I can wrap this up. Men are not to be judged by their looks, habits, and appearances, but by the character of their lives and conversations and by their works. Sir Roger L. Lestrange said that. I like that one. Um, and this one by Arnold Bennett. It is well, when judging a friend, to remember that he is judging you with the same godlike and superior impartiality. So, there you have it, guys. J is for judging, and I think we've all been guilty of it. I know I have. I'll be the first one to admit I've done it. But I think as you get older and you see more, you tend to just let people be what they are. You don't judge. Don't come up in my world and judge me, and whatever you do in your world is fine. Just don't let it leak over to my world if I don't want it there. You know, you want to wear 600 earrings in your face, you go right ahead. I don't care if you're white and married to a black guy, purple guy, a Martian, a Vulcan, or whatever. It's none of my business. I don't, I mean, that You don't want to read that book, that's fine. You don't want to listen to that religion, whatever. I mean, So don't judge people by what you think is the standard or what you think is normal or what you think is acceptable. You have to accept people for what they are. And if you want to know something about somebody, probably the best thing to do is ask them. I mean, that seems like the fair thing to do, in my opinion. But it's just my opinion on it's just my rant on things. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you today, guys. That kind of timed out perfectly. So we will end another wonderful day here on Vox Populi, looking at this beautiful ship right here. And this is like the main entrance when you spawn into survival here on Vox. And I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. Hope you'll leave a like and share and all that stuff. And if you've ever had a situation where you were judged like that, leave it in the comments. A lot of you guys are really commenting on and sharing stories with me, and I love it so much. It is awesome to read. And as always, thank you, and thank you everyone for. I think I've said this in another video, but thank you so much for 300 subscribers. That is absolutely. I am overwhelmed. Over the top of the moon happy. Thank you so much for coming back again and again to watch my stupid little videos. And with that and the setting sun, I will say adieu. Until next time here on Vox Populi, this is Mntdewmania. I'm so out of here. Later, guys.